McLaren have had an outstanding start to the season so far, with Lando Norris sitting second in the Drivers' Championship and the team chasing down Red Bull in the Constructors' Championship. While the championship standings are looking good, what has been happening on track hasn't quite been perfect. The team orders issue in Hungary was a bad look for the team, and Lando Norris's race starts are looking increasingly suspect the more people analyse them. With that in mind, the team have made a massive call, which could spell the end of Lando Norris's Drivers' Championship title hopes. I'll be checking all that out, but first let's talk about the big contract news at the team. It has been a fantastic season for McLaren so far, by far the best since Lewis Hamilton and Jenson Button drove together in the early 2010s. Lando Norris has finally started securing the results that many thought he was capable of, and Oscar Piastri is having one of the best second seasons in a very long time, showing that he too could be a future champion. The team are quickly closing in on Constructors' Championship leaders Red Bull. With 366 points, McLaren are only 42 points behind Red Bull now. They have outscored Red Bull by 12.75 points per race over the last 4 rounds, and if they continue that trend, they'll be championship leaders after the Singapore Grand Prix. It has been an incredible upturn in form from the team, and a lot of the credit for that has to go to the new team principal Andrea Stella. The Italian joined the team at the end of 2022, and by the halfway point of the 2023 season, he had guided the team from being the bottom of the points to regular podium finishers. McLaren have rewarded his success with a contract extension, with CEO Zak Brown highlighting Stella's profound impact on the team. McLaren have not revealed the length of Stella's new deal, but described it as a multi-year contract. Stella, who joined McLaren from Ferrari for 2015, was appointed team principal in December 2022 and immediately set about restructuring a team that had been struggling for years. That work has resulted in Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri taking their first ever Grand Prix wins this season. Speaking about the extension, Zak Brown said, "Andrea's excellent leadership, expertise, and the respect he holds within the team and Formula One means we could not have a better person in place to continue the pursuit of consistently fighting at the front of the grid." His impact on McLaren F1 in his role as team principal has been profound, not only through our results on track and the trajectory of the team, but also in his development of our culture and mindset. It's a bit disappointing he missed the opportunity to just say he'd done a stellar job, but it is great news for the team anyway. With their team principal tied down for years to come, McLaren are now eyeing up a first championship title since Lewis Hamilton won the driver's title in 2008 by a single point. Based on current form, the team look a shoo-in for the Constructors' Championship, despite currently being sat second. Mercedes' recent form might be a worry if they weren't 100 points behind McLaren at the moment. The Drivers' Championship looks less clear though. Lando Norris may be a match for Max Verstappen at the moment, but he still sits 78 points behind the Dutchman. Even if Lando won the remaining 10 races this year, he still wouldn't be guaranteed a Drivers' Championship win. While McLaren have closed on Red Bull over the last 4 races, Lando has lost ground to Max Verstappen. While he and his fans may be holding out hope for a title charge after the summer break, McLaren have made the call that they don't think it's possible. Oscar Piastri says that McLaren will prioritise the F1 Constructors' Championship rather than helping Lando Norris in his bid to catch Max Verstappen. The first objective is to win the Constructors for the team, and I think we've got a very strong chance of doing that, Piastri told Sky Sports News. "We've been closing the gap to Red Bull in the last 6 or 7 races. If it comes to a situation where I need to help Lando later in the year, then of course it's something we'll discuss. But the first target is to win the Constructors and try to do a good job for myself as well." There was talk of a Norris title challenge a few races ago. In Italy and Spain, Lando came close to beating Verstappen. Then if the two hadn't collided in Austria, Lando would certainly have won that race over his rival. At the next round at Silverstone, some poor strategy decisions threw away a race win, and Lando eventually finished third behind Hamilton and Verstappen. Then in Hungary, a poor race start from Norris saw him fall behind his teammate into turn 1. With Piastri leading the race at the first round of pit stops, McLaren eventually called team orders during both drivers' final stints, telling Lando to hand the race win to his teammate and settle for second. A pre-race agreement between the McLaren drivers meant that whoever led at the first stop would take the race win if it was possible to do so. Then in Belgium, another terrible race start from Lando Norris saw him tumble down the order and eventually finish a place behind Max Verstappen. There were plenty of chances for Norris to make the fight for the driver's title closer and give the team a reason to prioritise his title challenge over the Constructors' Championship, but he failed to grasp them, leading the team to make the call to go for the team title over the individual one. Despite his title challenge falling away as Formula One headed into the summer break, Norris has insisted that things at the team are great. "We're good and the team is in very good form. We're trusting one another. We're working together very well, and for us, that's the most important thing," Norris said. "It's a strength of ours. It's why we are now doing what we're doing, and that's performing as one of the best teams, and if not the best team in F1. So I'm proud of where we are and what we're doing, and it's for us to try and keep up." While 2024 has been an impressive season for Norris and McLaren, there definitely have been problems. A trend that has appeared this season is a potential problem with Lando Norris's race starts. With a car now capable of regularly starting on the front two rows of the grid, Lando Norris's race starts have been getting a lot more attention this season. While it has anecdotally been disappointing, some excellent analysis by Riruto10 on Reddit has highlighted just how bad it has been. This spreadsheet shows the positions gained and lost in the first lap of each sprint race and Grand Prix this season. With the lap 1 retirement at the Miami Grand Prix excluded from the data, Norris has the worst first lap performance of the entire grid, losing a total of 15 positions over the course of the season and never gaining one. The easiest comparison would be to his teammate, who has gained a total of 6 positions over the course of the season and never lost one. While there is a discussion to be had over the relative challenge of starting a race from the front and back of the grid, this trend is a problem. Compared to his obvious title rivals over the coming seasons, Hamilton, Leclerc and Verstappen, Norris's performance is a big worry. Each of the three have a net positive positions gained over the first lap. While a Formula One race isn't won on the first lap, losing position straight off the line certainly makes life more difficult. Overtaking in Formula One is not easy, even if you are the faster driver, and Lando is giving himself so much more work to do during Grand Prix by being the worst performing driver on the opening lap. When you take those poor starts and look at the points he lost because of them, the scale of the problem becomes more obvious. At the Belgian Grand Prix, for example, he started in 4th but finished the first lap in 7th. He got caught up in traffic throughout the race and was unable to make progress through the field. He eventually finished in 5th thanks to George Russell's disqualification, while his teammate, who started the race a position behind him, finished 2nd. If Norris had simply held his position on the opening lap, he likely would have finished 2nd instead of 5th, netting himself an extra 8 points. That would have been a 6-point gain on Verstappen rather than the 2-point loss he actually had. In Hungary, falling behind his teammate into Turn 1 would eventually cost him a race win and 7 more championship points. Those 2 race starts have cost him 13 championship points. Those 2 race starts have cost him 13 championship points compared to his rival. If the gap to Verstappen was 65 rather than 78 it actually is, McLaren might be more interested in prioritising his championship challenge, but the gap is just too big now. While things are going great at McLaren, and Norris is having his best season ever, there is always room for improvement, and Lando's race starts are a very clear thing to focus on. Are McLaren right to prioritise the Constructors' Championship over the driver's title? And what do you think of Lando's race starts? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and until next time, drive safe and bye for now.